Welcome to Skegness, to sunny Skegness today. We're going to have some fun with you guys. We're going to give away some prizes. We're going to give away money. We're going to give away chocolate. We're going to have some quizzes now. So how many times can you subtract 10 from 100? 10? It's not 10 times. Have another guess. How many times?
What is the most popular colour? Of all the colours of the rainbow, which one's the most popular? Shout out an answer. What colour? Not gold.
How many sides does a circle have? One. Close. Gentleman on the other side. 2 is correct. Come and get your prize.
How many times? Have a guess. 1, yes! There you go. Any other time you subtracted from 90?
Not green. Blue, well done. Lad on the bike, we win a prize. Well done. Blue is the most popular colour.
Before Mount Everest was discovered, what was the highest mountain in the world? Is this history or geography, or is it just general knowledge?
When does 10 plus 3 equal 1?
Kilimanjaro? No, it wasn't Kilimanjaro. It's higher than Kilimanjaro. Come and answer the question, we'll give you a prize. Mount Everest, yes! Before it was discovered, it was still the highest mountain in the world.
How can you drop a raw egg onto concrete without breaking it?
What time do you think it is? Anyone? When does 10 plus 3 at 1 o'clock? Finally, he got one! Yay!
Slowly? Yeah. That's not the answer we're looking for. Boil it? No, that's not the answer we're looking for. So how can you drop a raw egg onto concrete without breaking it? Sit down and put it down gently. That doesn't break the egg. But how can we drop an egg without breaking onto concrete? Wet concrete, that's not what we're thinking of, no? Do you think the egg's going to break the concrete?
Stick around, guys, if you want to win some money, some prizes, especially if you know the most popular board game. Not chess. You've got to be quicker. Can you see the answers from here? All right, big question coming up.
Question to you good folk out here today, enjoying the sunshine and the bank holiday. Hands up if you think you're a good person. Excellent. And hands up if you are willing to try and prove that to me for this £5. I just need someone to come up and speak to me for 10-15 minutes. Come on, get your hands up. I'm going to give you this. Yeah, are you going to come? Please come forward, yeah, come on. So Jane, I'm going to ask you, Chris, I'm going to use a standard out of the Bible called the 10 Commandments, and we're going to use our good person test against that. Is that okay? All right. So in your life, in your whole life, Jane, going as far back as you can remember, roughly how many lies would you say you've told in your whole life? 2. Okay. And what do you? That's really good. By the way, that's about a million better than me.
How many lies have you ever told in your whole life? A few, yeah. What do you call someone that tells lies? A liar, yeah.
Have you ever taken something that doesn't belong to you in your whole life since you were young, regardless of its value? Of course. Now what do you call a person who takes something that doesn't belong to them? A thief. Okay, thank you, Andrea. Let me do 2 more.
Right, third question, I appreciate your honesty. Have you ever used God's name in vain? Have you ever said like OMG or you've used that before? Now that's called blasphemy and it's very serious. And we use it in vain, so people say OMG or use God's name without thinking about it. They just say it instead of using a swear word or to express disgust or a distaste in something. And that's called blasphemy and it's very serious in God's eyes.
We'll do one last one. Are you ready? Danielle, would you say you've always obeyed your parents? Commandment number 5, no, right? So far by your own admission, and listen, I'm no better than you, okay? I've broken all the commandments myself, all 10 of them, okay? But so far, you've admitted to me that you're a lying, thieving, blasphemer, and you've also disobeyed your parents, right? It's not looking good, is it, Danielle? Danielle, if you were to appear before God on Judgment Day, who can see everything that's done in secret and in dark, right? And he could see everything that you've done in your life, and he judged you by that standard, will you come out innocent or guilty? Guilty as charged, right? Now, Danielle, just be a little bit more honest with me. If you turn out to be guilty, where would you go? Would you go to heaven or hell? What should God do to guilty people? Shall he let them into heaven? No, he shouldn't, right?
Yeah, let's put this in a courtroom. If you were a criminal and the judge was going to pass a sentence on you, prison, and God's prison is called hell. Now, does it concern you if you died that you should justly go to hell because you've broken God's standard?
I suppose so, yeah.
Okay, now forgiveness is something we're going to move on to, James, because the bad news is, based on you're like the rest of us, that you're not a good person. However, I've got some good news, and I hope we can fit this in. And this is my little bit to talk. Now, God did something for humanity that he didn't have to in order to save us, and it's good news. Do you know what that good news is?
I want to share to you why God can be just. He won't be an unjust judge, but he will also want to be loving, because he doesn't want you to go to hell. Okay? So 2,000 years ago, he came down to earth himself. He lived a perfect life. So those 10 commandments, he didn't break any of them in thought, word, or in deed. Okay?
And even though he didn't have to die for his sins, he died voluntarily so that his death could be for our sins. That means that the price has been paid, and we can have our crimes acquitted. We can stand as free people on Judgment Day because Jesus has paid the price for us. Does that make sense?
He comes down himself 2,000 years ago, and he dies a horrible death on the cross willingly to pay for the fine that you and I committed. He rose again on the third day, and this means when you appear before him on Judgment Day, even though you're guilty, because somebody else paid for your fine, he can let you go. So this way God doesn't overlook justice, but he also gives us mercy at the same time. Does that make sense? Okay, got to do two things, Danielle. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Number one, you've got to say sorry to God. Does that make sense? And number two, you've got to put your trust in the work that Jesus did, not in yourself, but you put it in the work that Jesus has done. Okay, so if you were to die today, Danielle, and God gave you justice, you'll be in trouble, wouldn't you? You've got to do two things. What are they? You got to say sorry, and you got to put your trust in Jesus. You get that? When are you going to do it, Danielle? Now. It makes sense, right? A clever person will do it now. Listen, Danielle, I promise you £5 if you're a good person. It turns out you're like the rest of us. That's right, yes you are. But guess what, Danielle? I'm going to give you this £5 anyway, and on top of it, I'm going to give you a whole heap of presents here. You know why? Because God is also likewise has given us a gift we don't deserve as a demonstration of what he's done for us. So even though you don't deserve it, even though we don't deserve God's mercy, he's given it to us anyway, okay? Danielle, everybody give Danielle a big hand. Thank you very much. Well done, Danielle. Thank you.
With you, is that okay? So thanks very much. That's all yours.
I want to thank you all for being here and listening to us. We may have sounded like we've got some bad news for you, and we do. The bad news is that we violated God's laws and broken his commandments, and we're all in trouble, and God is not going to overlook it. So what is God going to do? He can't just let us go, but he's also rich in mercy. So what does he do? He pays for the fine himself. It's kind of like a judge who's passing sentence on his own child who's a criminal. After he passes the sentence, he steps down and he pays for the fine himself, because if he doesn't, his child will end up in prison forever, because he can't ever pay for that fine. So God has given us mercy when we don't deserve it. How amazing is that? Now listen, Skegness is a place where people can put fruit machine money. It's called gambling, right? We go in there and we gamble with money because we want to win something. And most of the time you won't, because these machines aren't made to make you win. And this is the same here. When we say there is no God, and when we say that we're going to get into heaven after we violated God's laws, we are gambling with our souls, and it's not worth it. Why won't you accept the great news? God paid for the fine. We receive it by repenting and saying sorry to God, and then you have eternal life. It sounds like a great deal to me. Hey, listen, guys, do it today. If you don't do it today and something happens and you appear before God and give you justice, you're going to be in trouble. Do it today. Don't wait another day. There is no need to wait. I want to thank you for listening to us. Those who are standing around, please come and talk to us. We want to have fun. We want to talk to you, but we also have a great message to give you at the same time. So thank you. Give yourself a big hand, everybody. Thank you very much.